Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to do a lesson on why you don't buy a pre-E90 BMW, particularly a Z3. And here is one of the many lovely reasons. On all BMW E-chassis, well, most E-chassis, the E36, the E46, the Z3, sometimes kind of the E30, they like to tear their subframes. And with the Z3 is no exception. Even the coupe, people will say the coupe's better. It's not. You beat it, it's going to break. This boy's pulled out of here for a very good reason. Because our subframe's torn. Now it looks a little something like this. So, it looks a little bit like this. So, that's cracked right there. That's pretty bad. And then the back bolt, or one of the bolt holes that holds the differential in, is also like pretty bad. Like, you see my finger through there. And one of the main problems on these cars is this. This wasn't a problem with the 1.9s. So originally these cars only came with a 4-cylinder, the James Bond car. It was the M44, and it was built to compete with the Miata. But eventually they put an inline 6 in it, and the chassis couldn't really handle that. So that caused problems, like sometimes this will tear, or like this will completely like shear crack if you don't catch it, and like it'll drop your diff and it'll twist your unibody, and it can get really bad. But the solution to this is to drop your subframe, replace all your bushings while you're in there because it's a pain in the butt, and then you're gonna take your old piece of absolute shit diff mount that's from an E30, which I had this lovely garage stick mount. It was derelict, probably didn't help much. And you're gonna replace it with a lovely E36 medium diff case cover, because that's what you have in a Z3 if you have an LSD option or a manual. I'm not sure about the autos, don't quote me on that. And you're gonna slap some nice bushings in there. You're gonna order a diff brace to go in between here because he's like to crack when you beat on him. That's on the mail, so we'll just pretend. And you're gonna order a lovely Randy Forbes subframe kit, which comes with these many pieces to cut out the trunk and many scatter tools. Sorry, we're working right now, so we got a little bit of fun time going on. Now, BMWs are great cars. I mean, the subframe kit is like, not great, but like, for the E46s, it's pretty easy to do. Most shops are comfortable with this. And like E36s, it's pretty simple. If you don't do it, this will happen. Typically, you don't need to do it for lower power cars. E46, E36 can handle it. Just if you're drifting or heavy track use, you might want to deal with that. But particularly with these cars, you're going to run into the subframe tearing at around 100,000 miles is about what happens if you're, an enthusiast who enjoys it. But there is a reason these cars are cheap, and that is because of it. You may see M54 B30 or S52 Z3, and you're like, oh, that's sick. But like, you're reading through maintenance records. But the one thing you're not going to, see that much is the Randy Forbes kit on there, which I showed previously. And I'll leave a little link with his email and everything, because that's the only way you can get it. Preferably through a shop. It's pretty hard to get it through your own. It's also more expensive too, but like, I'd recommend being friends with the person that owns the shop. Makes life a lot easier, or a good relationship at the very least. But when this is down, if you are friends with the person that owns the shop, or you're going to do it yourself, which you are capable of, they give a thick packet. It's like this thick with directions. I'd recommend doing bushings, obviously, like I said earlier. Do everything you can think of. Suspension, replacing brakes, brake lines, upgrade to steel brake lines or metal brake lines, braided brake lines. And you're just going to absolutely do everything. I mean, you could do a big brake kit till we're here. Willwood makes a nice kit, I think. Seneca, I don't know what those brands are. But what we're probably going to run with is a surprise, and we'll save that for another video. But you cannot run stock wheels. You need to run, I believe, 17s by ET34. Don't quote me on that. Still need to mount everything up and everything. But BMWs, it's a Melrose story. They're awful financially, right? Like the E90s and 335i's, F54s. Yeah, you're gonna deal with some turbo issues and blowing up every occasional because no one took care of them, misfires from the index injectors and all that fun stuff. But that chassis can typically handle the bolt-ons in a tune, mods that any bushy-eyed 19-year-old's gonna fucking do. Because let's be honest, we're enthusiasts. We're gonna modify it whether we say we won't or not. Or in a teenager's case, tell his parents he won't modify it, and then he downpipes and tunes it, and his parents ask why it's louder, and then it blows up. I've had friends that happened before, but it's okay. End of the day, enjoy driving your car, beat on it, have a great time, and you won't have issues. Well, I mean, you will, but fix it. Don't neglect it. Don't let yourself just like fall into a trap of like, oh, like I like my car, but like it's okay. That noise doesn't matter. The noise matters. Figure it out.